like I do this little like setup. It's not. It doesn't even really like do anything. It's just holding it.
So you're live on.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, like, there's my sister. Let's see. So we'll just invite her. Let's see.
Oh my God, I'm just starving.
Jocelyn! Jocelyn, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, you're out. We're also joined by my friend Denise, who's she's here. She's off camera.
Hi, Denise.
This is the Portland Beaver. Wallace. All right, hold on, Jocelyn. I'm just gonna pull up my notes. How's it going in Portland today?
Oh, it's great.
So let me pull this up. Awesome. While we're waiting. I can't remember. Look at I got Walker here.
So cute. Oh my God, is that Ben's dog?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hold on, I can show you a few of the others. Tiffany. I've got Denise's two dogs are downstairs. And then I've got here, we'll invite Dave. I've got Obie and Sadie downstairs. Then I have Ralphie and Maggie are in crates. Dave, I'm trying to invite you. Why won't it let me? And then look, now I've got all these guys. This
Goodness.
and Tiffany's being antisocial in the corner because she is. Anyway, welcome everyone to MILF Hotline. I'm Jennifer Dallas. I have my buddy Denise over here. She's going to weigh in. Today's topic is modernizing the bigger person, being the bigger person in both your personal and work relationships, redefining taking the high road. So, Jocelyn, I figured you and I could weigh in a lot about this, but Denise worked in, how would you say it?
Law enforcement.
Denise worked in law enforcement, and I'm sure you had to set a lot of boundaries being both a woman, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things we were talking about with jobs, and I invite everybody to weigh in and call in and give us your opinions. One of our things is when you have to set boundaries and have the courage to say your piece at work.
Yes.
I was saying that the high road is usually met with a lot of traffic. So what hill are you willing to die on? So would you be able to weigh in on what worked or didn't work what worked or didn't work when setting boundaries in your job? Jocelyn, and then you can weigh in as well.
Well, being a woman, first of all, they figure they can just kind of run over you.
Yeah.
Or, say what they want to say and get no repercussions.
Joss, can you hear her okay? Okay, perfect.
So you have to draw boundaries.
Right.
You have to draw boundaries. Like, look, this is, because they're just used to listening to men authority.
Right.
And I was in a position of authority in the beginning. And you just have to, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm just here to be fair and to do my job. So initially you'll be met with some negativity, but once they see that you are all about business and being fair, then you get the respect.
I think that is a big part of something that I've struggled with work, in both the horse industry and the dog industry too, right? Because obviously we were clients, but now we're friends. Mm-hmm. And I think that you get close to people because you share that common interest, right?
Right.
And I want to help people. Mm-hmm. So there's that line of I'm helping, and then not you specifically, but like in the horse industry, and then it turns into, oh, you don't have a lot of money, or let me help you with this, and then you kind of tend to get I get taken advantage of, and then I'm doing a lot more things that I didn't sign on for.
And probably being a woman, they probably give you that understanding, like they don't think you'll do as good as a man as far as doing the same job.
Oh, especially if, in the horse industry, there's so many men doing that job, right? And so, and being 85 pounds, well, now 90 pounds. 90 pounds, y'all. That for me, in any job that requires a physical what am I trying to say? Like an interaction, like a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like I have to prove myself. Like, how can I do this job better than a 175-pound man?
And probably for the first 10 years of my career, I had to prove myself.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me. And now you're a badass bitch. And you're a single mom.
Single mom.
Anyway.
Single mom.
Jocelyn, where do you want to weigh in on that? Where have you had a lot of struggles where it doesn't work?
I think for me, in having my own business, it's knowing your worth. And like, 'cause I, in the beginning, would struggle with, oh, are my prices too high? You know, and I think just standing behind that and like knowing that I do a good job. My clients like me. They always keep coming back. And it's even okay to like raise your prices. I didn't raise my prices for like the first 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And I think I always felt like if I raise my prices, people are going to find someone else. But people really appreciate.
Was that in LA or in Oregon?
In Oregon.
Yeah.
But people are willing to pay for good service.
Yeah, that's true. And I think, it's okay. I'm trying to invite this I'm trying to invite Seth to get in on here. Seth, I'm trying to do this. And sometimes I do not know what I'm doing. Hold on. I think it's okay to give discounts, occasionally, right? I'm trying to.
I do. If people are willing to ask and negotiate, then I'll entertain it. But also, like, I used to feel really bad, like if someone like left their dog for like 2 weeks and it was like obviously a lot of money, and I would be like, oh, I gotta discount this because they're gonna be like, oh, this is a lot of money.
Right.
But I don't.
Male Karen.
Oh,
I don't know. Hi.
we can hear you.
You can't.
Hi. I'm in the car currently.
That's true. Say hi.
Who's that dog? Who's that dog?
Which one? This?
Yeah, that baby dog. What is that? It's so cute. What is it? Like, who is that?
It's Walker.
Who's Walker?
He is a Russian toy terrier, and Ben calls him Putin's little spy.
He's adorable.
But are you weighing in on something, or you're gonna have to mute yourself?
You invited me.
You know what? I didn't know what it is.
And
It's
that's
an auto invite.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Dave. See, Dave's got.
And that's my shirt.
Yes, everyone. I did borrow Kennedy's shirt tonight. Anyway, okay. So I think, sorry. So, Kennedy. Wait, how do I even do that? Actually, Kennedy, I'm gonna get rid of you. How do I get rid of Kennedy? Bye, Kennedy. I love you. Okay, so there go the dogs. What I was saying was, I think it's okay to help some of your existing clients out sometimes, but you're right that your prices are your prices. I would feel bad too. It's like, oh no, your dog, or you have to be here, or you hurt yourself and your horse is in training. But that's your choice in the real world to own animals, right? Or to do those things. Okay. Another thing I wanted to talk about was who has been in a shitty work situation, and we've had to set some boundaries and have that talk with maybe superiors. And so I've had a few jobs, and I'm not gonna name them, right? But I was hired for certain things, and it ended up not being what it was, right? I got taken advantage of in a big way. And one was a corporate job, and one was still just doing freelance stuff for the horses.
Right.
And at first you're like, oh, I'm so good at my job. That's why they want me to do all these extra things, right? Because they really like me. And
sounds good.
Right, so, yeah. And then all of a sudden you're too much, and you talk a lot, and you're loud, and actually we don't like the way you talk with the customers, or it's a threat. I feel like it's been a threat. And so when I've had
I want to see you happy at the job.
And I feel like I've, in the past, laid down some pretty harsh boundaries, like, well, if you don't like it, then go fuck right off. I'm out, and that's not always the right way to do that. When I worked at another pet care place, and it was like, well, I just felt like the expectations of what the job was, what they set, and then what they actually wanted were so completely different, and
they're never clear.
Right. And for the money I was making, I was like, I kind of don't want to fucking do this. So I think after a while working for other people, how do I check these messages? Jocelyn, do you know how to check messages on this? Or Dave? We're going to invite Alba. They're just muted. Joss?
Both of them?
I don't know. I think you can scroll. I think you can scroll up, can't you?
It says 8 new messages, and I don't. TikTok is so complicated. I don't know where they are, but
That's why I don't even know how to post.
no, I mean, this is a whole new vibe. But anyway, so this place I was working for, I feel like, Alba, how do I answer these messages? There's been times where I think working for other people, for me, being in my 40s also, and then being pulled into the office, right, is like it feels very shameful. And being told, you know, all these things like, oh, you're being inappropriate. These were the job title. We need you to do this. And finally, I was just like, threw my phone down. I'm fucking out of here. You guys are stupid. And that's, you know.
I think that if they should just tell everything up front, this is what we expect. And it shouldn't be a problem, but they'll tell you what they want, and then once you do something that they don't like, well, you know, we don't really, but you never trained me on to do that.
That is a big thing, I feel like. The training is one thing, and then they throw you into the deep end.
Right. You didn't train me to do that.
And it could be with any job. And I want to dip into some personal boundary stuff, like where we've had to take the high road. Last week's episode, hold on, let me mute this. We were talking about how to speak your truth without getting canceled. And it turned into this amazing therapy session with my followers and me about blocking and deleting people. And Jocelyn, are you there? And she said this really amazing phrase, and it said, "You're not going to teach them a lesson."
Right.
I have lived that for the last week.
Really?
I really have. And so, like, driving and somebody cut me off. Or, mostly, too, like, when people are inappropriate out in public, that is my biggest thing. So, Dave, Kennedy, and we were all at, I'm just trying to invite people, and I don't know how I'm doing it. Oh, there we go. We were at LACMA. I think I told you this story, but this is a good one. We were at LACMA, which is a LA County Museum of Art. And I got a little close. To one of the artwork, you know, one of the paintings. And the docent got super pissed off, and she was like, "Ma'am, back up." And I was like, I wasn't going to touch it. Right? I'm a member here. Right. And it escalated from there because she kind of...
Kept going?
Dave was there. He can weigh in. But I finally was just like... I said, "You're being rude," right? to the docent. And then these two other men were like, "We didn't think she was being rude." I'm like, "I don't remember fucking asking your opinion." And so it just got so out of control.
0 to 60.
And Dave was like, "We gotta go. Let's just walk away from this one." And instead of me like calming down and being like, "I didn't like the way you talked to me," just could have, handled it with the docent personally. I walked up to her and said, "Did you see my membership sticker? My membership pays for your salary." And that's also not right, because whatever her name is, she sits there and watches the paintings not move all day long. Like, that's her job, is just to make sure that the art is still there. So I've then since learned, like, it's not worth getting all the way upset. And how can I take that and empower myself in my personal relationships? So a friend of mine is getting divorced, and she's also, one of her things is like, she wants to be really nice, and in her divorce, they don't want to do like lawyers and things like that. And, when you don't have those kinds of things set, I feel like things can be left to interpretation.
Yeah, and I think it's not, lawyers just clarify things.
Right.
It's not necessarily meaning, me and my ex, my lawyer repped him.
Right.
Because it was just straight and cut. We're friends.
Right.
We didn't divide no property. I didn't get child support.
Right.
We didn't do anything. So it was just...
It was cut and dry.
It was cut and dry. It was cut and dry.
Do you ever feel like with any of your like your current relationship, like setting boundaries and make sure that there aren't toxic dynamics, like that's something that's really hard. Like I've felt like even in my current relationships, both personal and
Well, that's funny because I'm 50, and then my boyfriend is older. So when you get older, 50 years old, you really are set in some of your ways,
right.
And so he is too.
Hey, all these dogs.
He's set in his
They're
ways
weighing
too.
in.
But like for instance, like coming over, and he lives about 70 miles.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long way.
One way. So I'm like, okay, but his perception, like, oh, okay, I'll be over at 5 and then it turns into 8:30. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no, it's too late to go eat. It's too late to do anything.
And he's already on his way, or already got there?
Pretty much on his way or got there. And so, but a few times in the relationship, I'm like, you know what? You can turn around and go home. Yeah, he was pissed off. But you have to set the boundaries because if not, then it's going to continue. And I'm like, maybe that's what you used to, telling her you'll be over there at 5 and get there at 7.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what you used to, more than likely. And so
But that's a long time.
I accepted it for some years, but then recently I'm like, I'm done. I said, if you can't get to my house, before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Then don't
Is he
come.
checking in at all along the way? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not all the time, no.
I do feel that valuing my time is a huge pet peeve. Like when someone will say, oh, okay, just move this, appointment to later to accommodate me. And it's like, well, but then I'm making other people move around for you.
Right.
And I think that that's really hard because standing your ground in those situations where it's like, respectfully, I can't move that. You said you were going to be at a certain time, and now you're 30 minutes late, which this is the pot calling the kettle black, because my sister will tell you that I am chronically late. My family knows I'm on Jewish Standard Time. My family knows to tell me 30 minutes ahead. So if it's supposed to be at 6, they always tell me at 5:30, knowing that I'll get there at 6. And even for myself, I've tricked myself into...
But and so what it just would be because like I put the dogs out.
Go.
He'll be like, I'm 20 minutes away. I'm like, okay, so I'll put the dogs out because he doesn't do dogs, and then it's like 20 minutes away, and then it's like an hour.
Yeah, that's
I'm
exactly.
Like, where are you?
I feel that.
The dogs could have still been in the house.
Jocelyn, do you have a situation where, like, especially with having your own business and clients, like with overlap, and you feel like time is not being respected? I am so sweaty, by the way. It's 1,000 degrees upstairs.
Yeah, constantly, all the time, like every day that happens to me. No one has respect for my time. And it's like, I guess I could be more direct and be like, okay, here's the window, which I kind of started doing, which is like because like a lot of times people are like, what time should I drop them off? And I'd be like, whenever. But I need to be more like,
I'm just going to be home watching The Housewives.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, but if I do that, then it's like, they really will drop them off whenever. So like, I need to be like, okay, well, here's the window. But then also, I have this one client that they're constantly changing the time, all the time.
Do you feel like you need to set like a late fee? I mean, I'm like that too, right? I'm just like, oh.
Well, I think when I start, because I'm starting school, so I think when I start school, I'm going to be more strict because my time really is important now. Then will be more important to me then. So I am going to be really strict about, like keeping actual business hours and being strict on pickup and drop off time.
It can be really tough. I feel like in a situation like this where it's like not so corporate, but like we can ask Dave, who is a CEO with his job, right? I assume, Dave, that at your place, like, have you had a situation where people are coming up to you feeling like they've been treated unfairly and like how you had to set those boundaries even if they hadn't been treated unfairly?
I mean, I guess in the context of, hold on. Ask the question again. I'm trying to think my way through it.
Okay. Now I have to figure out how I said it. As a
Yeah.
CEO, right? So like for Jocelyn and I or anybody else out there in like maybe the more private sector, right? Like we have we can set our own rules. We have our own, like, our guidelines, whatever. But for your job, which is more corporate, like when you have a situation where you've hired somebody and then you have to talk to them about, creating boundaries, and maybe they've created a toxic environment or something like that. Like, how did you help set those boundaries healthy, right? So that,
Oh, well, I think for us I mean, I don't know if I would say that we're corporate, but I mean, I think one thing that helps us at least set the foundation for like, how people should kind of treat each other and how they should work, is the employee handbook, right? I mean, and maybe that's obviously a lot more required when you have employees and you have to worry about compliance, but it's pretty much like a rule book that people have that, to kind of to understand like what our kind of like requirements are going to be for how they treat each other, for how
right,
they show up to work. So I think at a very basic level, it just kind of creates that common understanding of like how people should treat each other and how they should treat the job. Now, I think there's always a little bit of leeway, given what's going on in people's personal lives, things that come up at the last minute. And I think whenever it comes down to somebody breaking or at least kind of bending those rules, then I think it's always just a very basic conversation in regards to like really understanding where they're coming from. If there's a misunderstanding of what is expected of them,
right.
to kind of understand again, like, is there just some kind of confusion, or are they just like intentionally going out of their way to break the rules? And then that just warrants further conversations before it becomes a kind of cover your ass situation where you have to make sure that you're tracking what's going on. But I think at heart, it's like you always want to trust people and that they understand like how to be professionals and how to kind of treat others. But for us, and I guess in the corporate world, like it does start with making sure that there is some foundational understanding across everybody that's working there of how they should be working and treating each other.
Right, right. Wait, Hancock Hill, I miss you, wifey. Oh my God, I love all of this. I love all the people that are just. Can you hear this like crazy shit happening? I set up a sidebar. I set up a gate to like separate some of the dog sitting dogs from other dogs, and I have 3 bulldogs up here, and they just bulldozed the gate just now. I'm gonna stay here. Denise's hand.
So I guess just to like, just say it, the TLDR is like, I think you have to assume at the very beginning that people may not really understand how they should be treating each other, and the work. So you need to just find some way of making sure that there is that understanding.
Right.
And then, you treat any kind of breaking of those rules, or those guidelines as just a conversation to really understand why it's happening. It's not like about going to 0 to 60 in that minute, but it's really just trying to figure out why something isn't happening the way it should.
Right. Who else do we have on with us right now? Quiet. I'm trying to think. Who is? Oh, Maddie Brooklyn. I love how like, oh, who's hate my life? I think like some of the things that like I've had an issue with too are like, stop it. Feeling like when I want to get out of a situation too, with both like a personal and a work relationship, I had to get out of it while taking the high road. And I think that biting my tongue and not being all me all the time has been a big problem. What am I seeing? I see fingers, but I don't know who that is. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect them too. Look, I've learned, Jocelyn, to like, I can get rid of people.
Job.
I'm doing a really good job. Some of the other like things I want to talk about too, like as far as taking the high road in like personal relationships, I am notorious for having issues with like in-laws or boyfriend's parents. And them being intrusive into my life and my relationship. Present company, what do you call it? Not included, because Dave, your family is incredible. But I think that there's a lot of people out there that are going through a lot of that kind of stuff. Like if they're married, where they have a hard time setting boundaries with their in-laws. Who's saying I love Alba, you watching Love Island right now? Wait, pause. Kennedy spent a week with Jocelyn Castiel, came back. I watched one episode of Love Island. I don't get it, like at all, because it just seems like it's like polygamy. Am I wrong though? It's like polygamy. Am I wrong though?
Too far gone. You have to start from the beginning, but it's too late now. There's only 2 weeks left.
Okay.
Too late to the game.
Okay. So but it is a good show from everything, and it's been on forever.
It's the best show on TV right now.
Okay. More than 90 Day Fiance, you think?
Yeah. Oh, way better. Way better.
So anyway, focusing on empowering yourself. When I was talking with a friend who's, Alice is not polygamy, exploring your Riz and testing it. Okay. Hey, my God, these sounds. You're out of control. Wait, actually, this could be really good about taking the high ground and talking about Love Island, because, like, don't you think there's, like, a lot of jealousy and things like that go on? Like, how do they hold their shit together to make, like, what's the point of Love Island?
They don't, and that's why it's so good.
Okay, wait, talk to me about Love Island. Love Island is, they're all on the island. Have you seen the show?
Yeah. Well, half episode.
Okay, do you like it?
It was okay.
Okay. They're all on an island, right? And they're all, do they start off coupled, like, at all?
Yes, they all start coupled, and then then they'll introduce new people. The bombshells will come in like periodically, and that kind of like tests, and they'll try to couple, and then they like do a recoupling, and then people get sent home. America's voting who their favorite is.
All right. So but they're getting sent home, like, based on their attitudes, and like, are they supposed to take the high ground in these situations?
I mean, it really all depends. It really depends.
America can vote them off the island, literally?
Yep.
Okay. I would be gone within seconds, right? Because
You get canceled immediately.
I would, right? I would say something wrong,
sure.
And I would go into it. Hi, Jimbo. I would go into this whole thing. I think I would go into Love Island being like, look, I'm not going to talk shit, right?
But I'm going to try and get along.
I'm going to try. And then right off the bat, they're going to be like, she gets pork chop. She's out. Right? Because she sucks. And that would be me for sure. Okay, I have 2 more minutes to talk about empowering yourself for the high road. But I think one of the things I really learned, and one of the things that we're shaping the show out to be, is when we're speaking our mind, kind of like you can have that final read without really being a fucking jerk.
Right.
And so we start talking about these things in all the episodes, right? And so next week, I want to talk about feeling good about yourself and manifesting that positivity. So we've been talking about reinventing shit for the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. And now next week, we're like, I have all these friends, like all the guys specifically, they're all like, oh, I don't want to do OnlyFans because I don't look good. Or I'm like not feeling secure about my image because I don't look good. And I'm just like,
where does that come from?
I don't know, but we're going to talk about that next week. In the meantime, though, for the last 2 minutes, I really wanted to create a MILF Hotline playlist. Will you hand me my tablet right there? It's underneath all that shit. And so that way, like, you could put it on, like, if you're feeling like you are going to snap and you want to be empowered. So my song that I was going to add was Bad Habit by The Offspring. And it's talking about road rage. Jocelyn, what would your addition to the MILF Hotline empowerment playlist be? And I'll put it in right now.
I mean, so many,
right?
To add, but my just go-to is Dancing on My Own by Robin.
Oh, Robin's a great one. I'm going to put it in right now. Yeah, great song. Oh, I also just played it on accident. Dave, what's your song going to be?
The song for what?
It's the MILF Hotline Empowerment Playlist. Denise, what do you want your addition to be? It could be anything. There are literally no wrong answers. I want to hear everyone's.
My what?
What's your, like, if you could pick a song and it was like your walkout song, like if you were a baseball player. You are a baseball player.
I am. I don't know. It's so many of them. I don't know.
Okay, well,
You think of a good one for me.
no, that's just your song.
Okay, I don't know. Give me a minute.
I'm gonna post the link for the Spotify playlist on TikTok, and I'm gonna make it collaborative. I want everyone to join and put some songs in it. Jocelyn, I expect plenty of songs. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Mwah. Maybe I'll have my air conditioning tuned up a little bit more next week so we won't be sweating like hogs, and maybe dogs will behave themselves. Anyway, until next week, everyone have a great holiday, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. And then this is the most fun part where I never know how to turn it off. Ever. Every week is how do I shut myself off?
No, this is adorable.
Okay, hold on. I do it every time. That's not it.
You have to make sure that you're doing something awkward like
Oh,
burping or
I figured it
whatever.
out. I found it. It's top right.
All right.
I'll see you guys later.